Hey, welcome back to the Exodus Project. Today, we're diving into something we all struggle with at some point. Finding a balance between work and personal life. We hear so much about work-life balance, but what does that actually look like? And how can we make time for what really matters without feeling overwhelmed? Before we get started, make sure to like the video and subscribe to our channel. That will be the best way to support our project. Now, let's get started. Let's start by addressing why work-life balance is more than just a buzzword. When we're constantly juggling deadlines, family, friends, and personal hobbies, it can be easy to feel like there's just not enough time for everything. But studies have shown that finding balance leads to better mental and physical health, increased productivity, and more satisfaction in our relationships. When we take control of our time, we start living with purpose, not just going through the motions. First things first, we need to figure out what really matters. Take a step back and identify your core priorities. Ask yourself, what gives me energy? What feels like a chore? Make a list of your top priorities for both work and personal life. These could be spending more time with family, advancing in your career, dedicating time to a hobby, or just having more downtime to recharge. Once you know your priorities, it's easier to spot the areas where you might be wasting time or committing to things that don't align with these core values. Next up, boundaries. In a world where we're always connected, it can feel like our work follows us everywhere. But setting boundaries is key. If you're working from home, designate a workspace where work happens, so you mentally separate it from your relaxation zones. And, if possible, set clear start and end times for your workday. Communicate these boundaries to your team or clients so they know when you're available. Remember, boundaries don't just apply to work. Setting limits on social commitments or screen time can also give you more freedom to focus on what's really important. One powerful technique to reclaim your time is time blocking. This means planning your day in chunks, dedicated to specific tasks or activities. For instance, you could block out a couple of hours in the morning for focused work, then an hour for personal time, and so on. By scheduling personal time just like you would a meeting, you're making sure it's non-negotiable. The key is to prioritize tasks that align with your goals and drop or delegate tasks that don't. You'd be amazed at how much time you can free up by being intentional about how you spend each hour. Saying no can be one of the toughest things to do, especially if you're used to being the go-to person. But it's essential for maintaining balance. When you say yes to things that don't align with your priorities, you're essentially saying no to something that does. Politely declining certain invitations or responsibilities frees up more time for what matters to you. Think of it as protecting your time. Start with small no's and build up, whether that's skipping a meeting you don't need to attend or taking a rain check on a social gathering that you're not excited about. It's easy to feel guilty for taking time off, but self-care isn't a luxury, it's a necessity. Make time for regular exercise, relaxation, and hobbies that recharge you. When you're well rested, you're more focused and productive. So schedule time each week to do something that's purely for you. It could be anything from reading, meditating, taking a walk, or even just disconnecting from screens. Remember, you can't pour from an empty cup. Taking care of yourself is essential to showing up fully for both your work and your loved ones. Finally, work-life balance isn't a one-time fix. It's an ongoing process. Set aside time to review your priorities and habits every few months. Are you spending time on what really matters, or are new tasks starting to sneak in? Adjust accordingly. By being mindful and proactive, you can keep a healthy balance even as life changes. It's about building a lifestyle where your professional and personal life support, not compete with each other. So there you have it, a simple yet powerful roadmap to achieving better work-life balance. Identify your priorities, set boundaries, time block, learn to say no, invest in self-care, and keep checking in on your progress. Life's too short to spend on things that don't truly matter, right? Thank you for watching. If you found this helpful, make sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe for more tips on how to live a balanced, fulfilling life. Also, share your thoughts. What's one thing you plan to do differently to make more time for what matters? Until we meet again.